have an interesting question actually. You mentioned and you compared a lot of the aspect from where we've come to from the time of 1945. And you want to always look at it from a positive note, which is the improvement, which is good. It's always the positive note, right? Look at the silver linings. But then you also stated that in 1945, there was no reason for the populace to be optimistic.
No,
Everything was good, right?
Yeah, they have enough reasons to
They
be
have
pessimistic.
right, exactly. But yet they were optimists. So along the way, what happened? Why is it that they are pessimistic now and have lost the optimism, even though I, someone from outside, sees that, wait a minute, why is Indonesia not at least fourth in everything in the world? Yes. Right? I mean, I'm not, like sit there and they should be first, but they should be fourth, right? I'm a believer of Gaussian distribution, right? So we're the fourth most populated world. We should be fourth. One thing is, we're probably the world's largest consumer of rice. We should at least be the best in the production of rice. We may or may not. I'm not sure, right? But along the way, you stated a good point. They were optimists then, but yet along the way, we became all very pessimistic. What happened? What along that way caused that? And if that barrier is still there, right, your thoughts of turning around the movement to be optimistic can still be a barrier.
There's no single factor that turns things around so fast. But I think there is a few that we can look at it closely. One is leadership matters. And what I mean by leadership matters is not about the strength of leadership, okay, but the trust on leadership. How do you trust your leaders? And I think we have experienced a deterioration of degree of trust from the public in general to those who are elected in the office. In the past, when we talk about leadership, people who founded these nations, none of them were interested on materialistic benefit. None. All of them is altruistic. Semuanya, they founded these nations not to get rich, not to get a positions. They wanted these nations to be independent because everyone can be, that's the objective, prosperity, enlightened. Nah, and people see that, and people have trust. Therefore, when leaders send positive message, it resonates. Because they don't see their personal interest in that message. Makanya, when you criticize the idea, but not the interest behind the idea, because there is no interest there. Now, the second generations, third generations, and the new generations, some have benefited from the presence of this new republic. Some have moved up from have-nots to the haves, from nose-not to the nose, from the work-nots to the work. So they have gone these transformations. Along these transformations, not everyone is experiencing the change in the same pace, and it creates imbalances. And then that's where leadership is very important, to explain that this is a gradual process. There is no way we can convert. And not only that, we have grown very fast. We were only 70 million in 1945.
Right.
And today, 237, almost 38 million. 3,5 kali lipat ini melompat. Nah, jadi I think one of the key issue is trust. Trust is very important to create that positive tone. There's a simple formula for trust. Trust equal competency plus integrity plus intimacy minus self-interest. Okay, you have to be competent in order to be trusted. If you're not competent, you're not trusted. Okay. Number two, you have to have integrity. With that integrity, I will trust you. That's a key component. Number three is intimacy. If you're not intimate, how can I trust you? There's no intimacy there. But this factor, the fourth, is the minus one. It has to be zero interest, or at least low. Jadi, if the self-interest is too high, it doesn't matter how good is your competence, how good is your integrity, it lower everything. The trust score drop immediately. Now, this is where we are facing challenge di Indonesia sekarang. So when somebody propose an agenda, let's create this bridge. Okay, who's the donors for that campaign? Is this part of that? So, how can we send a positive message when that is being questioned? So we need to have a political system that allows people of integrity to emerge. And in the past, we had that. So Pak Anwar can tell stories about our leaders, and those leaders, when they said, let's build this dam, let's build that road, they have nothing to do with whoever is doing the business. Now, that's one factor. Number two, that create this negative tone is also rapid growth of free press, free media that is not accompanied by sufficient supply of resources to manage it the way it should be managed. And it often create problems. I'll give you an illustration. Our TV today is growing, but it's still very centralized.
What do you mean by that?
Because we all watch news coming from Jakarta.
Oh, okay.
Whether this is RCTI, Metro, SCTV, TV1, but it is coming from Jakarta. Okay. It is not TV1 in Jogja, TV1 in Semarang. They have their own news.
They don't.
Okay.
They don't.
Not yet.
Okay.
Okay. But it's very centralized. What does it mean? It means if there is a local news, say ada keluarga yang fight in the court, okay, and then a cameraman is there recording that, and then you send it to Jakarta and made it to national news. It may be only 20 seconds, but it creates a feeling that, oh my God, in the court we fight. That court is very little court out of 500 districts in the country, made it to national news. So I give you an example. A few weeks ago, someone here was beaten up after watching Giant Game.
Yeah.
Right? If you go to Boston, do you see the news in Boston? No. If you go to Milwaukee, maybe. But that is local news in San Francisco area, right?
Yeah.
That's local news.
Yes, that's local news.
Yeah.
Right? Now imagine if there is no local news here. Okay? And then all these contributors were competing for news. This is rather sensational, right? And made it out there. That create a feeling. Nah, itu punya jumlahnya banyak. Jumlahnya banyak.
Okay.
Sehingga it create a feeling that, oh my God, there's so many problems in this republic. Well, everywhere is many problems. But the thing is, yang mana yang mau kita munculkan? That create, nah sementara almost 80 to 90%, those are the survey a few years ago, Indonesians gain news mostly from TV.
Oh, okay.
Jadi mereka mendapatkan berita dari televisi, bukan dari
Newspaper.
Nah, jadi TV itu membuat perasaan kita berubah. Nah ini sesuatu yang I think hari ini sekarang kita mulai menyaksikan tumbuhnya televisi lokal. Local TV is growing.
growing.
Yeah,
Local
of course.
TV.
But again, it takes time, right? begitu local TV growing, maka berita-berita begitu will made it to the local news. So when someone here claiming 21st of May is the doomsday, that's made it news here.
Yeah.
But anywhere else it's not. Imagine if that is there, and then everybody feel, oh my God, the entire Americans is that crazy? Kan?
Right.
Enggak gitu. Nah, that create negative feeling, and that's not easy to overcome. Tapi dengan that's our maybe second reasons of having this more pessimistic tone, because suddenly you're seeing the dark side. Look in 1945, if Pak Anwar can report, look how many killings among communities took place. The taking over of this house, the taking over of that home, it's everywhere. But at that time, all of these isolated incidents. Okay, the positive message is there karena tidak ada. Today we are having
nggak
ada. Jadi itu membuat we are not aware of the problems that is out there. Nah, sekarang with information that is transparent, we're able to exchange. Tapi it requires personal people in the media to be able to still provide news, and news has to be attractive, otherwise it's not news.
Yeah.
It has to be attractive. So that's the art, and that's not my department. Okay? That's the art, that's not my department. Tapi if that's, then you can actually munculkan sebuah berita yang powerful message-nya, tetapi tidak membuat orang merasa down. Are we succeeding? We are fighting.
Okay.
Ini beda, Pak. Kalau
We are fighting or not yet.
begini, this is the difference. When we talk about education, kita bicara pendidikan, we want to create something. Health, we want to create something. Infrastructures, you want to create something. Corruptions, you want to hit somebody. You want to hit a group. You want to hit people who benefited from these systems. So what are they going to do? They're going to fight back. I mean, they're not going to sit there. Okay, let's wait until we all got no more money. No. Kalau mau pendidikan, nobody challenge you. Infrastructures, there's a little bit of challenge on land. Health, nobody fight you. Tapi anti-corruptions, it is a battle. It is not it's a battle because there is others who wanted to continue.
Of course.
That's why it's not easy path. But the fact in the past nobody's fighting that. So it's there, it's silent. But now we're fighting. Therefore, it made it to the news, and it made us feel like, oh my God, corruption is everywhere. No, it has been everywhere since then. Okay, sudah dari dulu itu ada. It's nothing new. Tapi ada itu. Jadi, I hope that the tone. Tapi it requires people to start looking at it in a different way. There's so many issues. Tapi when you look at it a different way, at least we have the feeling that yes, we are trying to solve. We're trying to solve.
Yeah, good.